Take a little walk with me, I'll keep you in good company and be there for you till the end. You'll never be alone, my friend.
This is where it all started, right here on this farm. We may have grown over the years, but we've never lost sight of what was important to us. We're continuing that tradition today, and we always will be for generations to come.
Hi, I'm Mark Morris, owner of JM Motorsports. These days, it seems like conflict and division are everywhere. So having a family you can count on is more important than ever. Here at JVM, that's just what our sales and associates are. A family that loves motorsports. And that's why most of our employees have been with us for years. And it's how they'll treat you too, just like family. Because a family that rides together stays together. JVM Motorsports. We're not just a dealership, we're a destination.
Welcome back to game number 2, the semifinals for the 11th Region Boys Basketball Tournament. We have Gary Ball on the side over there with Scott County Assistant Coach Chris
Wilhite, Assistant Coach at Scott County. It's Lafayette. They're very athletic ball club, and they're a team that likes to run, so a lot of similarity.
Very athletic, and they like to press and, make it an up-tempo type game. They also sometimes, though, will back up into a zone and try to make it somewhat of a half court. Seems like a lot of teams this past week have been slowing it down, trying to play slow, whereas, we try to score as many as we can. You know that for sure. So.
Let's talk about Cameron King. He's a three-point shooter. When he's going, he's really going.
Very good. And in these last, 2 or 3 weeks, he's been their leading scorer in all the games they've won. So he's a big key to their team. Very good outside shooter, can shoot with a lot of range. So we definitely got to do a good job on him today.
Powell likes to penetrate, make things happen, kick it. So how are you going to stop him?
He's very good too, and he's a very good three-point shooter as well. So he's a tough matchup. Plays inside and out. We'll just try to limit his touches and limit his looks at the basket.
You've got Marino. They've got Surratt, a sophomore, but he is 6'8". He's a big presence in it.
He's definitely a big presence. He's hurt us a little bit in both games we played him this year. I think he's got double figures both times. We just got to do a good job of keeping him as far from the basket as we can. And then when he does pop out, we got to be ready because he likes to shoot the three as well.
Well, Coach, your ball club, Scott County, what do you think it's going to take to get the win here?
I think we just need to play together, share the ball. That first night against Madison Southern, we moved the ball that first quarter phenomenally. We got wide open shots. We've got a lot of very good shooters, and when we take good shots, we feel like we're going to make a bunch of them. So I think we just got to play together and then rebound the ball and get it up and down the court.
Thanks for joining us, Coach. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
It's Wilhite. We'll get Mike Mendenhall III here in a couple of minutes, Darren.
Thank you, Gary. Gary sprinting from one side of the floor to the other. We're gonna have timing with a sundial though.
Well, it's
I didn't want you to choke yourself there, Derek. Derek
right.
Varney joining me. Darren Douglas here courtside. And Gary brought up a good point. Cameron King, the most consistent three-point shooter for the Generals of Lafayette. And hang on a second, Gary does have Coach Mendenhall right now.
We're here with Mike Mendenhall III, and Coach, your ball club, very athletic, and sometimes you play to the level of your competition. This is pretty good competition.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll do that again today. We're going to have to stick with these guys. You know, they're firing on all cylinders. Billy's got them primed and ready to go. And we're going to have to compete and respond, and we'll find out early where we stand.
Yeah, they got 114 points. I think that was broke a record, a long-standing record, and they just really were clicking on all cylinders, even though their opponent was Madison Southern.
Yeah, but, you know, it's still a big school coming out of that district. They still had to win a game to get here. So, you know, they were hitting all their threes. They were hitting all their shots. So hopefully all that went in yesterday, and hopefully that won't happen today.
You know, I like your ball club, particularly when Cameron King's knocking down the threes and Powell's penetrating. And their coach, Will Hite, their assistant coach, said Surratt's really giving Scott County problems this year.
Yeah, you know, I think the key to our game today is going to be the three-point shot. If we can knock down some threes and keep them honest and keep their pressure on their heels a little bit, I think we'll be all right. And if we can score, we can press, which is what we got to do to stay in this game tonight.
You say press, will you come out right away and press Scott County?
Yeah, we're going to do what we do. You know, you got to dance with the girl that got you here, and that's why we're here, so we're going to continue to do that.
What do you think of the keys for Lafayette to get a big win? You already mentioned the three-point shooting.
Yeah, I think we got to limit turnovers. You know, we can't give them easy buckets. We've got to make them earn everything, and if we do that, we'll see where we are at the end of this thing.
Coach, thanks for joining us. Good luck.
Thank you.
Let's go back to Darren and Derek Varney. They'll have the call of this game, Scott County and Lafayette. And Darren, as you know, nothing to lose for Lafayette, everything in the world to gain. So we'll see if that plays out at all.
You never know when you get into tournament time, Derek. And like I was saying about Cameron King, he is a 42% three-point shooter behind the arc. He has taken most of his attempts of his 252 field goal attempts have been from behind the arc. However, it seems like people who are great three-point shooters are not very good foul shooters. I don't know why that is.
I don't know why that is either.
Too
Darren.
close,
I mean,
maybe?
I guess it might be close. It might be something psychological. But with Cameron King, who I've seen play a couple times against this Scott County team this year, he knows how to move well without the ball. He goes and what that comes from is his teammates being able to take Scott County off the dribble and kick it. That's exactly what they want to do. And as Coach Mendenhall says, that's a huge key tonight. If they can get into the lane and kick the ball out and get some easy buckets and limit Scott County's easy buckets, we're going to have a great ball game.
Big matchup inside, the young sophomore Ray Surratt against Michael Moreno, the junior for the Cardinals. However, I think that might not be as big as matchup as maybe Devontae Hayes, because he can physically bang around Michael Moreno.
Well, that's what you have to do. Michael's got a lot of energy and plays with a lot of energy, and Surratt just doesn't right now. He doesn't have his wind. You'll see him get winded, and you're on a bigger college floor right now. So Scott County's got that in their game plan. Like, let's get up and down the floor. Let's get some easy buckets. Let's get him in transition, and it makes it a lot easier on Michael, because they're going to throw some junk defenses at Michael. You have to, because he's, sometimes you got to say Moreno's going to get his. Let's keep the other four from hurting us.
Moreno averaging 20.4 points per ball game to lead scorers on either side in this ball game. But here's the thing, I think that really stuck out at UNI the other night, and yes, against Madison Southern. It was an outmanned Madison Southern ball club. And Coach Will Hite pointed that out for Scott County, the assistant coach. They shared the basketball. Scott County did very well. I thought ball movement plus player movement was really good. They shot an unbelievable first half of 11 of 17 behind the arc. Can they keep that up?
They're playing with a lot of confidence right now. You probably want to go ahead and say, can they keep that pace up?
Yeah.
I doubt it with the Lafayette team. Lafayette knows how to get out. They know each other. There's no secret.
And Coach Mendenhall's played against the Cardinals on many occasions.
Right, and you take that Lexington Catholic mentality that he had, you put it in his Lafayette teams. You're going to go 2-2-1 press. You're going to try to speed up. You're going to back tap. When Scott County catches it, they're going to bring Moreno up to the middle. He's going to catch the ball and try to put it on the floor. They're going to back tap it and try to get some easy points on the other end. So there are no secrets, but the answer to your question is, Scott County hopes they can get the open looks that they got against Madison Southern, which right now I'm kind of doubting that.
Well, and we talk about the Mendenhall factor at Lafayette, coming from Lexington Catholic as a former player. He brought his dad along as the assistant coach. They have been through the wars with Scott County over the years. But maybe, just maybe, Mike Mendenhall III has a little bit over Brandon Salzman in that Catholic lunch because he's had some athletic teams. But this might be the most athletic team that Mike Mendenhall's been a part of, either as a player or as a coach.
Right, and I talked about this Lafayette team. I think they are another big man away because Surratt's going to be really good. But is he 14 or 15 years old? Maybe.
Right.
I mean, he's a sophomore in high school. Just doesn't have that stamina and that real toughness yet. Is developing. You can tell he's a great kid, a hard worker, and I think they're 6'5", 6'6" away from being a really powerful team.
Well, everybody knows about Michael Moreno and Cooper Robb and Glenn Covington. Now, Covington is a streaky shooter. He is more noted basically on his defensive prowess on the basketball floor. What other player do our fans out there need to watch for both sides? Number one for Scott County first.
Bryce Long. Bryce Long is a long, no pun intended, 6'2", 6'3".
He's here all weekend, folks.
Right. 6'2", 6'3". He's got very long arms. He's been rebounding 7 to 8 rebounds a ball game since about 3 weeks ago. I've been really noticing as I watched him. He's put that into his game. He gets out on the wing. He runs well. Kind of the unsung hero. Is you got to look at Lorenzo Williams. He's a defensive stopper. He's a tough kid. He's going to give you all 5 fouls. And I think he's playing with a hurt foot, but he's one that really gets in there. He'll guard their best player.
Not as big a leaper.
No,
as Kenneth Chisley. I'm throwing a name out from my days when I used to broadcast the Cardinals, but he is not as well of a leaper, but he is as strong and as tenacious a defender as Kenneth was back in his day.
Absolutely, he never stops. And you got when Lorenzo and Glenn are both in there guarding the ball, that ball pressure on a ball handler. You better have 2 to 3 ball handlers against Scott County because they're going to eat you up. And then, oh, by the way, let's throw Diablo Stewart in there, who's one of the best 3-point shooters in the state, right? We didn't have any said anything about him. He's had to develop it coming in the first year in the system. He stepped in. He's had a smile on his face every day. He's played hard, and lo and behold, he's become just a huge weapon because you take some pressure off Bryce Long and off Michael Moreno and Cooper Robb when you have another kid shooting 40-some% from behind the arc.
Now, we've talked about King. We've talked about Surratt. We've talked a little bit about Eric Powell for Lafayette. Who of that Lafayette general bunch has to step up other than those 3?
Well, I think you mentioned Hayes. And if I don't know if Ian Shaw's playing. Last time they played, Scott County wasn't playing.
He played about 12 minutes the other night, I think. Against Woodford. Maybe play a little bit more.
Somebody else, you got to step your 3 and 4 men up. You got to have somebody out of a third score and a fourth score in games like this, as you can see.
Especially if it gets high scoring.
Right, and as you're looking at LCA in the first game, you had, I guess it was Thacker, who's been on fire. He did it again tonight. I mean, he hits 3 or 4 threes in a row and just blew the game open. But on their team, you're looking at Hendrickson, Rode, and you're looking at Hall. Well, guess what? Number 4, number 5 in the lineup steps up. So that's what you're going to have, I think, tonight with both these teams.
It's going to be a good one. Lafayette and Scott County. Both semifinal games have finals mentality to them. A huge crowd here with Central and LCA. Not as big a crowd. It's kind of thinned down a little bit for this second game, but just as big. Doesn't matter who gets to the championship game. I think this place will be absolutely electric on Monday night. What do both teams have to do? We heard the coaches. What do you, Derek Varney, think Lafayette has to do?
Lafayette has to control the game, and they have to score points to get into their press. Coach Mendenhall mentioned that earlier. You have to score and hit your open shots and take every advantage against Scott County because you're going to get pressured. You're going to get trapped. You have to know how to throw out of the trap. You got to know where Scott County's rotation is, and really just control the game on defense. If he wants to get back in a zone, play a good tight zone defense, but you really have to have your their meat and potatoes for the press. So that's what they have to make a living off that tonight.
What about Scott County? What do they have to do better?
How can you? After what we saw the other night, they're going to have to do what they do and continue to do it well. And if they shoot at a high percentage, it's going to be tough for Lafayette to do anything. It really is. But continue to share the basketball. And to me, everything goes through number 24 on that end. And if they do that, they play inside out. And Diablo Stewart's hitting, Cooper Robb's hitting shots is going to open up a lot for Marino.
Well, we're about a minute away from getting the starting lineups of this one. Lafayette and Scott County. Gary Ball's across the way. The next voice you hear with OB will be the public address announcer of the EKU men's basketball program, Ray White. And folks,
I love him.
You will enjoy him. You and I grew up in the era of Jim Engel at UK. I don't think there was anybody any better with a distinctive voice. Ray White has a very, very distinctive style.
Chills still.
Ray does.
Yes.
You got me tickled.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Paul S. McBrayer Arena inside Alumni Coliseum here on the campus of Eastern Kentucky University for 11th Region High School basketball action. Our second game today features the Generals of Lafayette High School and the Cardinals of Scott County High School. Now, let's meet our starting lineups first. For the Generals of Lafayette High School, representing District 43, wearing their red uniforms trimmed in blue and white. At forward, a 5'10" senior, number 1, Eric Powell. At guard, a 5'10" junior, number 2, Evan Drew. At forward, a 6'1" senior, number 3, Cameron King. At guard, a 5'11" senior, number 13, Fu Diallo. And at forward, a 6'9" sophomore, number 24, Ray Surratt. The Generals are coached by Mike Mendenhall III. And now the Cardinals of Scott County, representing District 42, wearing their white uniforms trimmed in red and blue. At guard, a 6'1" junior, number 2, Bryce Long. At guard, a 6'2" senior, number 10, Cooper Robb. At guard, a 5'9" junior, number 11, Diablo Stewart. At guard, a 5'11" junior, number 14, Glenn Covington. And at forward, a 6'7" junior, number 24, Michael Moreno. The Cardinals are coached by Billy Hicks. Your officials for today's game are David Anderson, Michael Wisman, and Steve Meek.
The distinct voice of Ray White here at Paul S. McBrayer Arena.
Gets me every time. I mean, hair on the back of my neck stands up every time. I want him just one time. I'm going to be in here by myself early, and I'm going to say, will you announce my name one time?
Gary, if you could see the look on Derek Varney's face, he was like a 5-year-old kid for the first time.
I love it, man.
Seeing Santa Claus.
Exactly right.
Moreno and Surratt will jump. King gets it for Lafayette and then throws it right in the hands of Covington.
He said, here, Glenn, you take it. I want y'all to have it first.
Almost like it was too hot for him to handle there. Turnover for the
2-3
Generals,
zone.
and it is looks like a matchup 2-3, and they are really forcing the guards out deep. Rob from the right corner, good from 18.
That is his. If you've seen it, I've seen it 1,000 times. Him come right there off the bottom of the zone there, off a little screen, catch it, and you know he doesn't jump off the ground that much. It's just an old-time set shot.
Here's Surratt out of the left corner for 3, got it.
Big man.
Now he would much rather face up like that. Quickly ahead, here comes Long. Euro step, throws it in the hands of Drew for Lafayette.
This is what we talked about the other night with Bryce Long being able to either recognize that he has something or back it out. He really struggles with that.
Here's Drew, gets around Covington, throws it up off the glass, too strong, rebounded by Moreno.
Look at this pass.
Ahead to Stewart, who will back it out on the dribble. Rob in the left corner. Gets a screen from Moreno. Back out to Stewart, who will set the offense between the circles.
And Diablo Stewart is in shooting range as I speak.
Moreno puts it back up off the glass and in as he, for all intents and purposes, a tip, but he called it and put it back in.
Right, and you got no movement by Surratt. When I'm talking about his energy level, he watched the flight of the basketball instead of finding Michael Moreno. And Michael gets an easy 2 out of that.
Diallo gets a screen for Drew. Rob knocks it away. Euro steps it. Basket. 6-3 Cardinals. A minute 36 in.
If you're going to ball screen Scott County, you got to have someone coming up behind you. They're going to ball screen and trap you.
Here's Drew.
There it is again.
Angles off here to the right side in front of us. Kills his dribble. Now jump pass over to Diallo. Way ahead of him. Diallo chases down. Stepped on the sidelines.
Third turnover of the game. We've played almost 2 minutes, and Lafayette has 3 turnovers.
And here comes Mr. Energy, though, for Lafayette. Number 5, DeAndre Newcomb.
Quarterback.
Really good quarterback for Lafayette. Cross-court pass, long. Comes back out here on the near side to Stewart. 6-3 Cardinals, 2 minutes in. Moreno to Long. As they flip-flop Moreno and Rob. Here's a 17-footer right side. Moreno left it short. Newcomb grabbed the rebound and they brought it down to his waist, and Long ties him up.
Yeah, it's got to be Scott County. Remember, Cameron King got the opening tap and threw it right to Glenn Covington.
Well, interesting there. They leaked out 2 guys, did Lafayette, when the defensive rebound came down.
Yep, which I don't understand that.
One of them was a 6'8 Surratt. They lob it into Moreno. Turns, gives it back to Covington down the corner from the left side. Good.
Darren, he's absolutely on fire. I've never seen Glenn Covington. And what that does, if you'll watch, it leads into his defensive energy down here. And Lafayette's asking for trouble when Glenn Covington starts hitting jump shots.
He's hit his first jump shot in both games here this week. Here's King. Contact, no call. Hits it to Newcomb. Down to Surratt. Turns. Double pumps. Uses the left hand, though. And a foul coming up on Scott County.
I like to see the big man right there, instead of double pumping, just go up through somebody's chin. You know, they say chin the ball, go up through someone. And he did draw the foul, but it was off a you got a 6'8 double pumping right there.
The first free throw from Surratt is no good. Surratt on the year is a 73% foul shooter. He's only gotten there 48 times. So it tells you he is not a physical player at quite yet this juncture of his career.
Right. He's a great, you hate using the word project, but you know what? He's a sophomore in high school.
He's got some great face-up skills and not a bad passer. Here's an intercepted pass by Powell.
Powell's so athletic. I like watching him play.
Give it off to Newcomb. The down to Surratt, who has a matchup against Rob. Turns, jump hook, no. Rebounded by Moreno. And you got to have Newcomb and Powell. They airmail that one. Is that Covington trying to hit Stewart?
Yes, Covington tried to hit Stewart, and that's 2 passes in a row. Cooper Robb threw the first one where they're being just a little anxious when they have the ball.
And Diablo comes back and says, hey, Glenn, remember, I'm 5'11". I'm not 6'7". I'm a little guy, that's right. You and I can relate.
Right.
3 minutes in, it's 9-3 Cardinals. We got off to a rip-roaring start. It's kind of slowed down here over the last minute and a half.
Foul on Covington. They're being a little aggressive, and I think Drew lost his footing a little bit there.
Coach Hicks wanting the push it all, but I think really their legs got tangled up. That's one of those fouls as a defender. You're like, sure, I didn't foul him, but
didn't mean to.
Yeah. I committed several of those in my career. Surratt turns, jump hook from about 7.
Nice.
Good.
Beautiful.
Now, if he can add that with the left hand, he'll be really dynamite.
Absolutely.
Nice pass, but a nice job by Powell to get a hand on it and deflect it into King's hands. Then King gives it right back to Moreno.
Scott County's 4 turnovers in a row. Then Lafayette turns it over once they get it.
A 1-2-2 zone, it looks like this time. Nope, they're going to drop King back and go 2-3.
Yeah, they got 2-3 here. They got the screen in the
Diablo from right wing from 3 range. He knocks it down.
As you see Lafayette going behind the ball screen, you're going to get killed by Diablo Stewart and the Scott County guards. You have to step up over that where they can't get their feet set.
Any good shooting guard, I don't care who it is, you're going to get killed because you hear coaches say fight over the screen. Drew, left side in the corner to Newcomb. 3 out of the way, short, rebounded by Covington.
Lafayette
ahead to Rob.
One opportunity.
Rob down the lane to Moreno. Nice catch by Moreno to not travel and put it in. 14-5 Cardinals. 3:45 to play in the first quarter.
Let's see how they switch ball handlers here and put Powell on the point. And I was wondering when he was going to make that change because that's a bad matchup for Bryce Long.
In the corner to Drew. Fakes the 3. Pulls up from 12. Right side, back rim, no good. Rob with the rebound. Ahead to Covington. He has 2 on 1 on the other side. Stewart puts it in. And Mike Mendenhall, the third, calls a 30-second timeout.
Here's that freight train, Darren.
We'll call a timeout. We'll keep it right here. Here's the thing. What Scott County does better than anybody, they'll get the ball from a rebound and get it out near midcourt on the pass.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
they do it better than anybody in the state.
Right. Because you got what you have a luxury in is you have a Cooper Robb and a Glenn Covington and Bryce Long who enjoy rebounding the basketball there. They don't take off running. You can leak Diablo Stewart out. Diablo's not going to give you a whole lot of rebounds. But then they feel the lanes. They're ready. Their hands are up. They're ready. And they just take advantage of you.
I will tell you, though, they got Diablo credited with 68 rebounds this year. So, saying.
He fights.
That's 2.1 rebounds a ball game.
Well, I tell you what.
That's 2.1 more than I average.
Because when you're playing Scott County, you're taking a lot of long jump shots.
But
so if you're a guard.
the thing I've noticed about Lafayette and Scott County, under Mendenhall and Billy, of course, all 5 people rebound the basketball. Drew double teamed out in the midcourt. Here's Newcomb, lobs it in the corner here to King, who is your prototypical. They go down to Devontae Hayes, who laid it in. Somebody lost it.
See, they lost. They had a great rotation, and they lost the rotation.
Of course, Hayes goes 6'1", 6'2". Marino put it up, and boy, he came down hard on the backside. And I think they're going to get Hayes. Nope, they got Newcomb.
But as you see, the ball shot from the corner. Michael Moreno is diving to the cup. I mean, he's going right at the ball, and he has such a sense of where the ball is coming off the rim.
First free throw is good. You know what? It reminds me, I saw Marino. When you say diving to the rim, he's not going to either side. He's diving right at the front of the rim.
Because he's also he's long arms. He's and the big body. He can get to those either side of the rim.
He's a 68% foul shooter. Thought he was better than that until I started adding the numbers up.
He shoots a lot of them. He shoots a lot of them.
He's been there 131 times this year. Lorenzo Williams hit the deck and somehow got a steal. He'll tell you it was the best steal he's had of his career.
Absolutely.
Here's Rob. Nice look from to Diablo. And then, boy, I don't know how you get away with that pass. Marino for 3, no good. Rebounded by Newcomb. That pass should have never happened back from Rob back out to Diablo. Here's Drew.
As you see, Cam Fluker will flat out get after you too.
Yep, and gives it now back to Powell. This is Powell's game right here.
Yeah, and they have no Lafayette's so bunched up they have nowhere to go and they can't hardly get a shot off.
No spacing whatsoever is awful. Here comes the other Diallo for Lafayette. This is Alassane Diallo.
We'll just say Diallo. How about that?
Well, when his brother and him are on the floor at the same time, it's tough. Here's 3 for Hayes, no good. Rebounded by Rob.
I don't think you want Hayes shooting a 3 right now.
Not if you're Mike Mendenhall, but if you're Billy Hicks, you're ecstatic. Rob is back to Diallo, excuse me. Here's Williams drives, has it blocked by Hayes. I think Hayes is bigger than 6'1".
I saw him standing. Oh, he is, because I saw him standing next to Marino there.
Here's King. He hits the side of the backboard with a runner. 18-7, Cardinals by 11. It's quite an 11-point lead. Make it, almost 13. Came off the rim, and now 2 Generals fight with the basketball. Powell and Newcomb. And it goes out of bounds.
Little sequence there on both ends with nothing. Nothing, Darren. Got a couple empty possessions there.
Here comes Covington in for Stewart. And as expected, now have both Diallos in the game.
Yeah. So it really doesn't matter. Nobody know what we're talking about, right?
No, I don't know what I'm talking about. Are you serious? This is Fluker with it to Rob straight away. 3 on the way, good.
Yeah, Hayes has had his hands. Hayes is bigger than Cooper Rob, but came out and just kind of looked at him, and Cooper got him.
This is Newcomb, 21-7 Cardinals. A minute 20 to play in the first quarter. Ball goes off of Rob's foot. Newcomb gets it back. Penetrates, jump pass, Hayes, straight away, jumper, blocked by Moreno.
Great block.
Into the hand of Fluker. Fluker driving down, blocked from behind by Diallo.
Well, they wanted that one because the little man was taking it to the bucket. their mouths were foaming.
Yep, and that was Fu, I think. But they got Newcomb with the foul.
But it all started with the block by Michael Moreno there.
Nice offhand with the left hand. You know, it's all well and good to block the shot, but Anthony Davis did as good as anybody had seen at any level, keeping the ball in play.
Yep.
And most times he'd come down with a block shot after he blocked it. Free throw is good.
Kozar does a good job of that too for Madison Central.
Fluker is a 76% foul shooter, although he doesn't get there very much. This is free throws 26 and 27 on the year.
Yeah.
Hits the second as well. 23-7. Cardinals up 16. And if you're Billy Hicks, you couldn't have envisioned a better start than what the Cardinals have gotten off to. Here's Diallo. Gives it in the corner to Powell. Marino goes flying. Powell, three-pointer around the corner. No good, in and out. Rob tips it up in the air, and he goes back and gets it again. Covington, cross-court pass here to Fluker.
Fabulous pass.
Fakes. 12-footer too strong. Rebound backside, tipped around, loose ball on the floor. Everybody on the floor after it. Stays with Scott County.
You see Cam Fluker go at it. You know, if you're going to be the smallest man on the court, you got to bring a whole lot. He recognized that he had a bad shot right there, went in there and got it and fought for it, and it ends up Scott County's ball.
Is he a lefty or a righty?
Darren, I can't even explain to you. It would take forever.
Okay.
He shoots some pull-up jumpers right-handed. He shoots some others left-handed. He shoots his threes right-handed. It's crazy.
Shoots his free throws left-handed, if I'm not mistaken. While ago.
Well, it looked like both hands. What it looked like.
Here's Marino, 3 straight away. No good. Fluker with a rebound. Gives it to Marino. Surratt with a partial block from behind, but I think he got him upside the back of the head.
He did. Good foul by Surratt.
Marino misses the dunk on top of that.
See what I mean by the energy level? By Michael Marino shoots the shot. Surratt does not block him out. Cam Fluker gets it. Michael dives to the basket. Cam hits him with a little dump off there, and Surratt's left behind to foul.
I like the effort though from Surratt trying to correct the problem he had.
Right, that's exactly right. Yeah, you have to make up for what you did wrong.
And the good news was he fouled hard enough to keep Marino from the and one. Had a coach tell me one time, you only got 5 of them, might as well make them count.
That's exactly right.
Had another coach tell me, he said, draw blood if you can. I was like, okay.
You'll make it count.
Thank you. Might have been your dad told me that. And I was on the opposing team. Here's Diallo. This is Alasane. I can't say that 3 times real fast. And they are twins, and I tell you what, one's got a goatee, one does not. One's wearing a long sleeve T-shirt, the other one's not. But they're both wearing T-shirts.
Right. All that right there that you just mentioned doesn't mean no good.
Nope. And other than that, Fu is 13.
There you go.
He's like me. I didn't care about that number 13. I wasn't worried about it. It's just superstition.
You didn't wear the same socks, did you?
Tonight? No. I can't say anything about the other garment that was worn back in those days.
Gotcha.
That these young people forget about now.
There's no such thing as that anymore.
No, sir. They look at me like I lost. I think we got a timing issue, a short timing issue. Bad handoff from the official here to the – you never see that happen.
No.
Surratt. Oh, boy, Covington anticipated.
That's a wide receiver, too, that missed that.
I bet you in the food drives and we get a foul on Marino.
I think if Michael goes up there and doesn't try to block it, he's not going to get a foul.
Yep. But he got the worst for wear because when Fu shot the ball, he got hit in the face with the shooting hand of Diallo. I'm going to try to pronounce his first name for you. How about this? Fusiani Diallo.
There you go. Let's call him Fu. Is that what they call it?
Even a blind squirrel finds an acorn.
Right. Exactly right.
Fusiani Diallo. He hits the first. And he shoots a knuckleball. Ahead to Williams. Here comes the Cardinals. Williams, scoop shot no good. Rebounded by Haynes, and the quarter is over. An entertaining score, or an interesting score here. Quietly, the Cardinals have moved out to a 17-point advantage after 8 minutes. You're watching the 11th Region Boys Regional Tournament action on PrepSpin.com.
Lexington Women's Health is an all-female OBGYN practice in Lexington made up of board-certified obstetricians, gynecologists, certified nurse midwives, and physician assistants. We are supported by a well-trained and compassionate staff. We work as a team to attend to each of our patients as if they were our sisters, friends, or neighbors. We have experience, both professional and personal, to help you through almost any situation. Chances are, whatever you face, we've been there. Visit LexingtonWomens.com for more information.
At Lexington Diagnostic Center, we love athletes.
We understand that when you are injured, the results of an MRI, CT scan, or X-ray can be the only thing keeping you off the field.
And that's what we're here for.
Same or next day appointments, front door parking, and our on-site radiologists make it easy for you to quickly get the results you and your doctor need. Call and compare prices.
We can save you hundreds of dollars.
We would love to help get you back in the game.
Yep. Here you go. Back here, you get a good look at the state's all-time leading wins coach. Billy Hicks, and both of them, the top 2 active coaches are also the top 2 all-time winningest coaches. Billy Hicks, Dale Mabry, and they both seem to get better the older they're getting.
They do, absolutely. And they got you got to think 1,800, 1,900 wins.
Yeah, almost 1,900. And then you throw Alan Feldhouse Jr. in, he's got over 600. And he's the number 6 or 7 active coach of all time.
Yeah.
Here's King with Stewart on him. To Haynes, now to Drew. Marino playing the wing of that defense. Here's a short shot by Haynes again, rebounded by Rob.
I bet that's probably his 5th or 6th rebound as well.
Here's Rob. Interesting matchup. They got Rob guarding Surratt.
What they're doing is he's down there being physical, getting under him, and Surratt, they're not going to be able to lob it up because he can't really go up and get it, if they're fronting him. So the only way they can get it to him is a straight line pass, and Cooper's right there. And Cooper's strong. He's a very strong kid.
3-sport star over at Scott County. Here's Moreno, underhand scoop, no good. Rebounded by Surratt. Off to Drew. To King. No numbers, and Rob going to be called for the foul for cutting him off. It's kind of hard to say. Somebody asked me, you've seen Cooper Rob play football, you've seen him play basketball, you've seen him play baseball. Which is his best sport? It's kind of tough to tell. Defensively, it probably might be baseball as a shortstop.
He actually plays second base. He plays second base.
They moved him over this year then.
Last year they moved him over, yes, and he will be going back again.
So,
it's tough. He's so good at all 3 of them.
Kind of like our cohort in game number 1, Tony Wise.
Yes, except Tony played a lot more sports than Cooper did.
Yeah, he did. He ran cross country. He played football.
Well, I'm going to say this right now. Do not ever say Tony Wise ran anywhere, please. Their cross country, no, he didn't.
Did you do cross country?
No, he did soccer and football.
Oh, soccer, that's right.
Soccer, football, baseball, basketball, and tennis.
And he's talking about being on the golf course today, so he never played golf.
He is a
And if you hear Tony tell it, he is a bigger legend than Happy Osborne is in Georgetown. Yes, Tony, I'm teasing you. Here's a steal by King. Put it up and in over Stewart. Now that's where King has an advantage over Stewart. And a foul coming up on Newcomb. That's number 2 on Newcomb. And the thing was, see how quickly our viewers are watching out there, how quickly Scott County got the ball out after a made basket.
After a turnover, they had possession, turned it over. Cameron King got a nice steal with the put in, and they just get up the floor. They know where everybody. They run that. There's so many variations off the break. It's called a secondary break. The object is you want to obviously get a layup out of it, or you want to hit the man trailing down the middle, which is Michael Moreno.
Moreno hits both. He's got 9, make it 10. He's the first player in double figures for either side. Cardinals lead 27-10, a minute and a half into the second quarter. Newcomb in the corner to King. Better pass. He may have had a shot.
Scott County's rotation is unbelievable. I've seen them where they can't hardly rotate, and there's some easy buckets that come out of it. But this rotation is incredible.
Here's a pass. Nice hands by Powell. Runs into Marino behind the back dribble by Long. Takes it to the hoop and lost it on the way up. He went back to that right hand instead of getting the ball on that left hand.
Bryce needs to spend hours going as hard as he can down the left and right side and pulling up, or just going straight up and late. He had a beautiful steal here behind the back dribble, and he just needs to make up his mind. By the time you get to the free throw line, it's either a jump stop or go ahead and commit.
And you got to use that offhand.
Yes.
He's a righty. Here's Surratt, 3 straight away. Front rim, no. Covington grabs the rebound. Nobody underneath for Lafayette to rebound. 27-10. We're 5:45 to go before halftime. Here is Marino out of the corner for 3. In and out. Tipped up in the air. Surratt grabs it. Long strips it. Ball loose. Covington comes away with it. Deep 3 from Stewart. No good. Long rebound by Newcomb. Maybe not the best shot.
No, especially after all the other guys worked their tails off to get it.
Here comes Newcomb. Powell has it stripped ahead to Diallo. Williams with him. Back to Long. Back to Stewart. Out of the corner for 3. No. Rebounded Powell. Empty trip for Scott County after a 2-on-1 break.
Powell really struggling trying to get to the basket.
Here is Newcomb in the right corner. Now to Drew. He'll shoot 3 right of the circle. Short.
Everything's short. Lafayette's gassed.
Yep, rebounded by Marino. They go about 7, maybe 8 deep.
I wouldn't be in any hurry if I know Scott County wants to play the up tempo, but you got a 17-point lead with Lafayette not even close to hitting the bucket.
Yeah, they really struggling. Here's a bullet pass. Look out. Get your hands up. If not, the broken nose.
Yep.
That was a self-defense move by Glenn Covington. There was no way he could have caught that pass, and Marino threw a 100-mile-an-hour fastball.
And Michael's got to realize also, Glenn's left-handed. What was he going to do had he caught that pass right there, Darren? You know, on the left side of the floor.
If it had been me, say a prayer that I thank God I caught it.
Right.
Because I'm telling you what, that thing has some heat on it.
It did. It's a grown man pass.
Mm-hmm. I was thinking a Rawlins Chapman fastball, high and tight.
Yep.
Here's a nice move by Powell down the lane, stripped by Long, but a foul on Long.
So you're going
we talked about that the other night. He keeps coming down.
He does. And you're going to see Lafayette be able to get into the paint now with Moreno taking a break.
And Scott County's gone about as small as they can go with this lineup.
Yes.
Powell with the free throw looks short. It is short.
Everything they're doing short.
And it was one of the bonus, so he doesn't draw the bonus. Here's Stewart. Back to Covington. 2-3 zone from the Generals in the middle to Fluker. Stewart, 3 left side or right side, good.
Well, you count on he's not going to stop putting them up, and I know Coach, the way he shoots them, I know Coach Hicks is okay because he had just missed 2 in a row. So then you turn around as a shooter, you got to think, you know what, I'm going to hit my next 4.
And that was interesting. They had Covington running the point. They put Fluker in the middle of the zone, the smallest guy on the floor.
Because he's a good passer out of it.
Here's a layup missed by Drew. Diablo Stewart quickly the other way. Crossover, dribble, floater, good. And timeout, Lafayette. It has grown to 22 points with 3:41 to play before halftime. And we'll keep it right here. Thanks to our fine sponsors. Our title sponsor on PrepSpin.
Absolutely.
White, Greer, and Maggard. Lexington Women's Health, one of our fine sponsors. Also, want to thank Bluegrass Orthopedics. Roberts Insurance, that insures all Kentucky High School Athletic Association athletes across the Commonwealth.
From right here in Richmond.
Also, we want to thank a couple of restaurants. Rafferty's Restaurant, where we had the 11th Region Preview Show for the second year in a row. They took great care of us out there, out in Hamburg. Plus, they have 8 other locations across the state of Kentucky. Bowling Green, I believe it's Turfway up in northern Kentucky.
Yep.
And, of course, in Lexington. And then we also want to thank Ricardo's Restaurant from my neck of the woods over in Versailles, just outside of downtown Versailles.
We love
the old train depot.
My family, we love that restaurant.
I tell you what have you had there? I can highly recommend everything. I've had everything on the menu.
I can't particularly remember, but that's a good stopping point because we usually go from when we're going from Georgetown to Bardstown, we cut through there to go to Bluegrass Parkway. So we go right by it.
Yeah, and it is actually a former train depot that they kept everything intact and just remodeled it and made it into a restaurant. So go by and see Josh Westfall and Chad Henderson. Tell them Darren sent you. They'll know exactly who I am. Here is Newcomb with the basketball. Floater in the lane. High arcer, no good. Tipped up by Williams. Covington, even with his springs, could get the rebound and went into the hands of Stewart, who loosed it. Bodies all over the floor. Hayes comes out with it and a whistle and a foul.
Good Covington on that.
I think Glenn forgot he's on the basketball court, not the football field. He just reached and grabbed him.
First team All-State defensive back.
You got some good ones over there, too, and they seem to find their way, if they're the undersized version, just up the street.
Yep.
I want to thank Bill Cronin. He's texted me last night. He watches our broadcast quite a bit.
Good.
Free throw short. Boy, Lafayette's killing themselves with the free throw line, not hitting free throws. They are 1 of 6 from the foul line right now. Lob it back to Covington. Long had a 3, put it on the floor, and had it stripped from behind by King.
Bryce Long had a little struggle today holding on to the ball and the turnovers.
Newcomb down the lane, double pump, has it blocked and whistling a foul.
Ooh.
Are they going to get Long? Nope, they got Fluker.
Well, I think if Cam got him from underneath, Bryce had a beautiful block over top. It really was.
Fluker said, I didn't touch him.
Well, if you notice, Lafayette does the same thing. They're driving head down, just running back up the middle.
Instead of taking it through somebody's chest, they're trying to go up under, and that just is inviting the ball to be stripped. And Newcomb hits the first. Boy, he hit the front part of the rim. And when I say the front part, it was the front part, not the front top part, but the front part, and crawled over and dropped in.
Darren,
32-11.
I thought we'd see this tonight. You got the sophomore,
the young sophomore,
Taryn Hamilton, who was 6 for 6 from the floor the other night.
He went unconscious quickly.
He really did.
Newcomb hits the second, so for the first time, Lafayette hits a pair of free throws tonight. Or this afternoon. I'm used to being nighttime.
Right.
It's still light outside. I'm not used to this. They get full court pressure. This is the first time really Lafayette's had a chance to set pressure. But Scott County breaks it with Stewart to Williams. Williams tried to go over the top of King.
Yep. And Lafayette's going to have to pick up the pressure. You know, you look up and there's, you're almost at halftime and you're down 20. You have to make things happen here. Even if it's going to cause some fouls, you've got to disrupt the game and get some advantages your way.
Well, you also got to make shots. And that's been Lafayette's big issue here in the first half. Stewart heading up. Oh, man, they left the young sophomore down low. Yep, and he got it up and in. That is
Taryn Hamilton.
And you just said that, and my brain is on lock.
You're talking about Coach Glenn. They're talking about how he's come on each and every practice, and he gets better and better. You see how much he's baby-faced and how much he's growing. He's liable to be 6'7".
Yeah, how do you get better? You play against competition. He does it every day in practice.
I mean, he's not phased. He's not phased.
34 or 35-12, excuse me.
And let's call him now 7 for 7 for the regional tournament from the floor.
Not too bad for your first 11th regional tournament, huh?
As a sophomore.
Covington strips Newcomb to Long. Left-hand layup. Good enough. He'd done it a minute ago.
That's all he needs to do. Yeah, but instead of bringing it down and herky-jerky, just go up. If they block it, good block. 37-12 Cardinals. King to Diallo in the corner for 3. That's Fu. Diallo stops the bleeding for a little bit for Lafayette. Boy, and the Diallo twins, they run similar as well. Here's a steal by King. Ahead to Newcomb. Laid it in. And now quickly Billy Hicks is going to say, no, enough. He said, I'm going to send. Well, they're wearing Diablo Stewart out by. They got 2 men guarding 1. They're going to have to bring guards up. Yep. I don't understand the mentality of the one guard trying to get through 2.
Well, and the thing was, the Diallos have gotten after.
Yes.
Even if it is Stewart, they're actually getting after the Scott County backcourt.
They are.
Which has been lacking in the first half.
And they're waiting on that second. It's not the first pass. It's the second one that Scott County tries to throw, kind of a lollipop pass, and you saw Cameron King intercept it nicely there.
Made a nice read.
Yep.
And then the thing was, he could have really missed the pass had he reached with the right hand. He went with the left, which was the closer. It sounds weird, but it was a closer hand to the basketball.
We got the same thing going on here again. See the 2-on-1 there?
Yep. Diallo, twins, Fu, and Alasane. They throw it ahead and hits Hayes in the head, but King comes away with a steal.
And he's carried it.
Yep, called it right on his hip. He had numbers, and he saw the cut that he was going to make. It just caught, as he went to do the crossover, it got caught on his hip.
Boy, he's hustling. He really is.
You can't fault him for that. Nope. That was just he's
playing his tail off.
Yep. A little dejected as he goes to the bench. It's by Coach Mike Mendenhall II. Here's Marino, and I think it went off the leg of Fu Diallo, and it did with 1:44. 37-17, Scott County.
And that's what I was talking about earlier. They want Michael to put it on the floor so they can come back tip it. Did you see how Diallo got him once he back tipped it?
Well, the Diallo twins are really bringing some pressure now. Wonder how much they've done this in the backyard. Here's Stewart with a left-hand layup. Good.
Beautiful. You got to take it now. Once Lafayette gambles, there's numbers.
Here goes Haynes down the baseline, laid it in. Just the size of Haynes just kind of kept Hamilton from getting to the basketball. Diallo.
Yeah, they got to start calling that a little bit. You can only lean on the ball handler so much.
Yeah.
You can see that Diablo Stewart is gassed.
No, he's gassed, but guess what? Alasane, if he just turns and sprints when Diallo got the shoulders around the hip, there's no foul there if he turns and sprints because he can cut him off. It was the riding. Ooh, did that hit Newcomb in the face?
I think he got his hand.
Boy, if it did, that was a last minute getting it up there.
Well, he's rubbing his nose. If that hit him in the nose. Wow.
If hit him in the nose, he's tougher than I am because I'd be crying like a baby right now. Here's Long. Head fake goes around. Hangs, puts up left hand, no good. Rebound tipped out of bounds by Haynes as he and Fu Diallo were fighting for it. And that's where sometimes, too, when you get tired, your communication level stops. So one of your other teammates need to tell you you're on the same team.
Yep.
When you get a stop, that's when you need to be able to come down with that rebound. Here's Stewart. 3 straight away. Back rim, no.
There's Bryce Long rebounding that backside.
Covington. Interesting. You've got Hamilton in there with Marino right now.
Yep. And I think this is showing Taryn a lot of Coach Hicks is showing a lot of confidence in him.
Here's
semifinals of the region.
You got Cooper Robinson there on the bench getting a really good rest.
Yeah, he is.
Covington right side, back after Stewart. 35 seconds in the first half. 39-19. Scott County, Gary Ball. Derek Varney will take you through halftime. And then we have a double foul. And I'm going to see, interesting, it was Haynes and Fu Diallo down there with Marino.
Yeah, you got Michael, got two guys, they're all fighting for position there, and you got Michael trying to hold his ground, and the other two are holding him.
Okay, they're going to call it on Alasane. I didn't think he was anywhere near the ballpark. I thought it was his brother Fu. And also on Michael Marino. Second on Alasane Diallo, first on Marino. Here's a ball. Boy, I tell you what, the Diallo brothers are really giving Mike Mendenhall some really good minutes here. They have really picked up the presence defensively for Lafayette. They may not be getting touches on the basketball as far as deflections, but they are making things tough on Stewart, Covington, Long, whoever's got the basketball, they're making it tough on them.
Yeah, they really are, and I think they know what they have to do come second half. Oh, good block.
Yeah, Fu has it blocked from behind. Is that Hamilton or was that Tobin?
No, it was Taryn Hamilton with the block.
I thought it was Kobe Harris, but you caught it, so
yeah, Kobe came up with the ball.
This is another showing somebody some more confidence level when you bring in these two guys. He's already played 11 guys, says Billy Hicks, and usually in the region tournament he doesn't play this many,
right?
Does he?
He has the luxury usually of going about 8 or 9 deep.
They have to call a timeout because nobody came back to help Glenn Covington. And you got some guys in there right now who don't normally play with Glenn.
Well, you got Bryce Long who does, and Bryce ends up on the other end of the court.
Yeah.
And that's what they're jumping up and telling him now. You got to come flying back. You have to be an outlet for that pass off the press.
In case you weren't with us earlier, the first game went to Lexington Christian Academy, 58-52 over Madison Central. And guess what, folks? We're not done after this game. We have the girls' championship game tonight. Scott County against Franklin County. We had a good one last night in the second girls. Oh, my goodness. Lafayette and Franklin County went right down to the wire. And Lafayette had a chance to win it with a shot at the buzzer. Here's a pass. Somehow Long caught that thing and put it up and in.
Last thing Lafayette needed right there was Scott County to score, right.
And here's the thing. I don't know how Long caught the thing.
Wow.
He caught it behind his head.
He did. He caught it. Great catch.
So Lafayette in a big hole as they head to the halftime locker room. 41-19. Cardinals lead over the Generals. And in body language as you watch it as they walk off, is anything, any indication, Lafayette looks like a defeated team already.
They really do.
Gary Ball, Derek Varney will be back to bring you the halftime numbers and get you ready for the second half of action here from Richmond at Eastern Kentucky University on the PrepSpin Sports Network.
At White, Greer, and Maggard Orthodontics, we believe that greatness is in the details. Each decision we make is for the benefit of our patients and our community. This means using industry-leading technology to help you achieve your goals and uncover your perfect smile. Our precision and efficiency results in an experience that is both pleasurable and affordable. White, Greer, and Maggard Orthodontics, applying precision and elegance to your smile.
All S, all P, all O, R, T, S. Pick it up at all sports. Pick it up at all sports.
In Fayette Mall and allsportslex.com, locally owned and operated since 1972.
My tax refund usually helps me out, but this year it was much lower than what it was supposed to be. This isn't enough to get me caught up. What am I supposed to do?
Is this happening to you? We're Atkinson, Sims, and Kermode.
Bankruptcy could be your best solution.
We're here to give you a fresh financial start.
Say no to debt. Get your bankruptcy started for as little as $78 today. The consultation is free in Lexington and now in London.
By the numbers, Whitaker Bank loves the Kentucky communities we serve.
There are 50 Whitaker Bank locations serving Kentucky communities just like mine.
61 Whitaker Bank ATMs throughout Kentucky make getting quick access to cash easy.
Whitaker Bank staff serves the needs of nearly 70,000 Kentucky customers every day.
We share your passion, Kentucky. Love the bank that loves you back. Whitaker Bank is uniquely Kentucky.
Folks, this is Gary Ball. Welcome back here to halftime at Paul S. McBrayer Arena on the campus of Eastern Kentucky University, where Scott County leads Lafayette 41-19 by 22 points. A little bit different, Derek, than the game the other day when they had 80 at halftime, but they still have 41 points, and they still have a 22-point lead. And you look at those first half numbers, what really, stares out at you from that page?
Well, Lafayette really struggling from the floor, and we both know it's because of Scott County's really tenacious defense. Lafayette, right, they shot 25%. If you shoot 25% and a half, you're not going to win a whole lot of ball games. And on top of that, Scott County shoots 47% from the floor. The turnover margin, Scott County has more turnover. So what Lafayette really did right there towards the end of the half was they started really putting their pressure on because they hit a couple shots. They really are able to press. When they're able to hit shots, they're able to press. As far as rebounds, Lafayette has 9 rebounds. Scott County has 27. 27-9 on the boards.
Lafayette's trying to stay in the game. They've got signs on there that they can play with Scott County, but and Lafayette is very athletic. You can see that out here by their guards, but nevertheless, Scott County just craftsmanship or surgeon-like just going through this tournament, really.
They really are, and it's called having a lot of weapons. They're blessed at every position. From point guard to 2 guard to big man to 3-man, and then you bring in, oh, by the way, we have a sophomore that is now 7 for 7 from the floor in the tournament, Taryn Hamilton. And they said he's really coming on in practice. So there's just a lot clicking for them right now. Lafayette, what they have to do is, they got to take small bites here in the second half, and they got to hope by the end of the third quarter, that's your goal. You cut it in half. You go to 11. Let's be down 11 if we're down at the end of the third quarter. Cut this thing in half.
Derek, we haven't even talked about it tonight at 7:30. We've got the Scott County girls going for the 11th Region Championship against that Franklin County, that upstart Franklin County
Absolutely.
team. When you look at them, 4 years in a row, they've been in the 11th Region Championship. So they don't have a lot of the same parts they had last year with Princess Stewart, Rebecca Cook, girls like that. But they got a girl named Kendall Talley who's pretty good.
Yeah, and hats off to Coach Thacker and his staff, because when first thing everybody wants to tell you is, I feel, sorry, man, you had a great year last year, but you lost everybody. Rebuilding.
Phone it in.
Rebuilding. And lo and behold, you look up 7:30 tonight, the Flyers are right there in the championship.
That's just kudos to Joey Thacker. What a great coach he is, and he'll have something playing tonight, I'm sure, for that fast-paced Scott County team. Scott County with DeFore, Peyton Riddle, and Owens and company.
Right.
They're a really talented basketball team. I had them on the Scholastic Ball Report a couple weeks ago, and I tell you what, the Peyton Riddle girl, I said, Peyton, seems like you've been at Scott County a long time. How many years you been playing there? She said 6. I said, you have been playing there since a long time, since 6th grade.
I remember
she's been dressing varsity, so she's quite a player. She's
Great
going
player.
to Eckerd College here in Florida.
Yep, absolutely. Coach Helton and his staff do a fabulous job as well, and these girls come through the system, and you got to think about it. If you start to play as a 6th or 7th grader, you got the system down by the time you're a senior,
right.
and they just get better and better, and good luck to them tonight.
Well, here it's Scott County 41, Lafayette 19. What can Lafayette do in the second half, Derek, if anything?
Continue doing what they did at the end of the first half was just their pressure. Just keep pressing, hope for turnovers. But once they get turnovers, you got to capitalize on the offensive end, Gary. You know, they can't just get turnovers. Right. It's not doing any good. Like I said before, they got to take small bites here, and they hope to cut this thing in half by the end of the third quarter.
Cameron King, the three-point artist, has only 2 points in this game. He does have 4 assists. So I think unless he gets on track here in the second half, they mentioned that the last few wins Lafayette had, he's had double-figure scoring.
Yeah, and I think that comes from Eric Powell, comes from Drew, comes from the Diallo guys, being able to penetrate, get in the lane, and kick it out. Right now they can't get to it. And when they do get into the lane, there's just Scott County's rotation right now, Gary, is so good that it's hard to do anything with.
Surratt, he hit that early three-pointer for Lafayette. He has 5 points. He hit the early three-pointer, the son of Marvin Stone, the former Kentucky player. So you know, when you look at him, he's a project. He's a work in progress.
Absolutely, I think he's a great kid. Really needs to work on strength and stamina, and you know, it's tough for him in this Scott County game, Gary, to really keep up down the floor because Scott County has such a tremendous pace. You know, getting turnovers, and when Mr. Surratt has to get up down the floor, that's what you know, he gets winded very easy.
I couldn't hardly get that out. That's why I was laughing at myself there. But Surratt, he is 6'9". He's a junior. He's going to come on for Lafayette. And, you know, Eric Powell has played hard, but he hasn't anything to show for it as far as points. He's 0 for 3 from the field. Drew doesn't have any points. I tell you what, that's not a good sign for Lafayette unless they really come on in the second half. You know, I think if it is a Scott County LCA final, which is what it's looking like it's going to be in the regional final come Monday night, LCA will pose some problems with those big guards with Rhodes handling the ball out there at 6'6". He's going to be able to look over Diablo Stewart and Glenn Covington out there and pass the ball.
Absolutely, and they pose a matchup problem for everybody, not just Scott County, but for everybody, because you have to, if Moreno's taking one with his size, you got to have 2 other guys that are undersized guarding the other ones. So, but what it does, what they give LCA, what they give them fits with, is they're not extremely athletic. You know, they're not the best running off the dribble and taking you to like this Lafayette team can get into the paint. They rely a lot on their three-point shooting, and I think it's what hurt them in the first half of Madison Central game. Then they come out and they get hot, and you know, they did start going. They had some great they're great passers. They're very smart players, and then you got Mr. Thacker just filling it up out here as well.
And 15 points in the first half they had in that game against Madison Central. 43 points. You'll talk about a tale of halves.
Yes, absolutely.
And Kyle Road had 22 points. I believe 19 of those were in the second half. And but the kid that was a difference in that game was Greer.
He sure
Number
was.
5. He was knocking down 3 after 3. He hit 4 of them. Had 14 points.
Well, I may have said Thacker. I think it was Greer. Correct?
Yeah, Greer had 14 points. And Derek, all season long, he averaged 2.4 points, and he only had 70 points all year. We had 14 in a June.
I wanted to get back on the basketball court.
I want to get back to the ref I used to be.
I want to get back to gardening.
I want to get back to playing with my band.
Only one team is qualified to get patients back to living their lives. Bluegrass Orthopedics has physician experts to assist in your recovery, whether it's an injury or chronic condition. Bluegrass Orthopedics provides convenient, specialized, and comprehensive care for your unique life.
All S, all P, all O, R, T, S. Pick it up at all sports. Pick it up at all sports.
In Fayette Mall on Facebook and Twitter, locally owned and operated since 1972.
Hi, this is Gary Ball for Crown Trophy of Lexington. Crown Trophy offers youth sports awards, corporate awards. They offer signs and a full line of promotional products. They're located at 2680 Wilhite Drive on the corner of Nicholasville, New Circle Road, just behind Starbucks. Stop by and pick up your copy of our 85-page catalog. Crown Trophy is nationally known, but locally owned with 150 stores nationwide. Crown Trophy, the official provider of plaques for the Scholastic Ball Report and PrepSpin.
I used my credit cards over the holidays, and I thought I could make it work. But between the bills and everything else, I'm really starting to fall behind.
A lot of people out there are drowning in debt.
We're Atkinson, Sims, and Kermode. you can have a brighter future away from debt.
We've come up with a way to get you started for less.
Say no to debt. Get your bankruptcy started for as little as $78 today. In Lexington and now in London.
Sitters are here. I'm ready. Okay, kids, behave.
Man to man?
I got the little guy.
Oh, did you leave cash for the pizza?
I got it.
With more features than ever.
All right, who's hungry?
Mobile banking from Central Bank lets you deposit checks, pay bills,
Okay, you're gonna get a rip screen.
send and receive funds with Pop Money, and more.
Hey.
So you can stay in the game without missing a step. Do more with mobile banking from Central Bank, official bank of UK Athletics.
Welcome back here to Paul S. McBrayer Arena on the campus of Eastern Kentucky University, where earlier today Lexington Christian came back in the second half and knocked off Madison Central, who was a triple overtime win over Bryan Station, 58-52. And here it's Scott County all over Lafayette by a count of 41-19. Scott County in the first half, they got 12 points out of Diablo Stewart. Michael Moreno with 10 points and 5 rebounds. He's coming off a 28-point effort in the first half. He had 28 points in that first half against Madison Southern. And here Michael Moreno has 10 points, 5 rebounds. I was talking to Cooper Watts up in the crowd here. He's in the first row over there, asking about college. And he said, yeah, college is college.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
He's looking forward to spring break, he said, which is coming up for him. And here it's halftime, and Derek, I'll tell you, Scott County kind of coasting right now in this game with a 22-point lead here at halftime, 41-19.
Yeah, it's you hope if you're Coach Hicks they come out and they play with the same fire, which I think they will. They always play with a lot of fire, but you have to know Lafayette's going to make a run. I really feel Lafayette's athletic enough that they are going to make a run. They're going to try to get some steals, get that press going, and usually the way the Scott County Lafayette games go, it's usually not this lopsided, but it's usually 10, 12 points, and then Lafayette makes a run, and then as the other two games, Scott County ends up pulling away by 8 or 10 points, but I haven't seen a 22-point halftime lead yet, so we'll see what Lafayette has left in the tank.
Scott County is a machine, there's no doubt about it. They have some of the parts, you look at Michael Moreno, he does so much down low for Scott County, rebounding, blocking shots and everything, and he's really the fuel that makes his team go.
He is. He's a special player. When you have a kid his size who can go inside, medium range, outside. Michael's going to learn how to put it on the floor more, and that'll take his game to a whole nother level. But it's also nice when Michael has the supporting cast around him that he has as well. That makes you a little bit better too.
Right. Well, Derek, I'm looking forward to the second half with Darren Douglas on the call, and it's 41-29. Scott County on top of Lafayette as we head to the second half here at Eastern Kentucky University's McBrayer Arena. There you go.
There we go. Darren Douglas back with you here courtside with the legendary Derek Varney.
Yes, sir. In my own mind. In my own mind.
I can say the same for myself, Derek. I don't know if Gary reported, but we have an upset again on the girls' side of things in the regional tournament play. DuPont Manual knocks off Sacred Heart, 55-52.
Wow.
That's big. Why? Because the winner of the 11th region girls plays the winner of the 7th region girls. Same as the boys.
Same as the boys. Wow.
Kind of fishy on the draw there, wasn't it?
Yep.
Both the boys and girls, 7th and 11th regions play each other.
Here we go with
second half. And
see Cooper Robb on the
back
point
in.
now.
He got a big time rest there at the end of the first half. Covington throws to Marino. Somehow it finds Bryce Long, who gets it to Marino on the whistle and foul.
Yep. Even when things go wrong, they're still going right for Scott County.
You still smell like roses at times. Sometimes it goes that way. Can't say it's never gone for me that way on the ball floor. It's never gone that way.
Well, and I like Lafayette's intensity right here in the first possession.
Marino's free throw is good. He's got 11 now to face Scott County. It was a balanced attack right now for the Cardinals. 12 for Stewart, 11 now for Marino. He can tie Stewart for the team high. He's got it. 7 for Robb, 4 for Long, 3 for
it's
Hamilton. You got 3 for Covington. it's relentless.
I'm still not getting a high ball screen here for Lafayette because you're going to get trapped every single time.
Here's Powell to Drew. Pulls up 15-footer, left elbow, got it.
Yep, Drew's a nice shooter. He's going to have to knock some of those down.
And that's what they've not done in the first half. He averages 10.4 points per ball game. I'm sorry, 6.6. Here's a shot, no good, and it falls right into Long's hands, and he misses the bunny.
I tell you what, Glenn Covington was above the rim.
Stewart and Powell collide, and somehow they don't butt heads.
A lot of hair there, wasn't there?
Well, yeah. Well, I just don't know how they didn't butt heads.
I know it.
Or foreheads at least, because they were real close to doing that.
Glenn Covington on an offensive rebound was as high as I've seen anybody up in a while. He knocked it right to Bryce Long, and I think it surprised Bryce.
Well, again, he used the right hand instead of the left.
Yep.
If he uses his left, it's an easy basket for him.
Yep.
Here's Drew, gets around Covington. Don't say that a lot. Left-hand layup, no good. Rebounded by Moreno.
I think Surratt needs to be a little more aggressive there. See how Michael Moreno's going to the bucket?
Here's Stewart in the corner, too long. Back out to Stewart it comes. Man-to-man from Lafayette. Interesting matchup here. You got King guarding Stewart. Down low to Rob. Has it stripped by Powell. Powell weaves his way through traffic. Angles left side, throws it up. Moreno may have gotten away with a foul there. The ball goes over the backboard.
Well, that's what I don't understand about Eric Powell, why he continues to challenge Michael Moreno. You got about a 4-inch height difference, and you're going to your left, trying to shoot back to your right with a 6'7". Yeah,
and you're also going away from the basket, too.
You're not going to succeed.
Yeah. He wouldn't even like he was going towards the basket. He was going away from it as well.
Right.
43-21, 6.5 to play in the third. Across it comes to Stewart, guarded by Newcomb.
Scott County's content to run some offense. You know what? Because Lafayette's kind of laid back. It's a man-to-man, but it's a real sloughing man-to-man.
Yeah, it's not this usual pressure that we see from Lafayette. Here's a foul coming up on Drew with Rob.
And that's a bad matchup. How much bigger Cooper Rob is than Drew.
And
Maybe
Drew,
not body-wise, but he's got.
And Drew would be physically stronger than most guards, but Cooper Rob is one of those guys who seems to live in the weight room if he's not playing one of those sports.
Right. He does stop off and get his work in. And anytime he has free time, whatever it is, he's going to get his work in.
And oh, by the way, he's a pretty doggone good student, too.
Yeah, he is.
Free throws good, both of them. 45-21 Cardinals. If I'm not mistaken, are they going to wait? Are they going to make me look foolish?
No, because it was 41, and they've scored 4 free throws.
That's what I thought. So it should be 45, right?
Yep.
Okay. Math is not my best subject, but I know I don't miss 1 + 1 is 2.
No, I know it.
Here is King with the basketball. I have it on the screen in front of me, so I know we're right. In the right corner, left corner, Haynes for 3, short. Stewart with a rebound. Lafayette continues to pump it away from three-point range. Moreno, nice catch and a split of the double team.
That's just a great pass by Diablo. Stewart head up, sees the big man. He throws it like a quarterback, drops it in to where only Michael can get it.
Here's a steal by Moreno, headed the other way, laid it up left hand, good. 49-21, and just the look on Mike Mendenhall III's face just tells it all. Everything he's tried, his team's been unsuccessful at executing.
Yep, they keep dribbling into the trap.
Stewart, 3 out of the right corner, no. Backside rebound, knocked out of bounds by King.
Is our score correct? We got 49.
Our score, I think, is correct.
I do too.
Take your shoes off over there on the scores table and count, folks.
No kidding.
Well, we can add it up right here real quick for us on our screen. 13, 25, 28. That's 54, 49. That's 49, 44, yep. Out of the left corner, good along the right baseline for 15, Cooper Rob. And that makes it 51-21. The lead is swelled to 30.
There you go.
Surratt comes out, sets a screen for Drew, works around Covington. Surratt for 3, got it.
I believe I get him a couple more touches. You know, he's
the only one that shot the ball well from behind the arc for Lafayette right now.
Yep.
Long, oh boy, just getting a piece of it was Drew. But I think that ball was headed to 2 Lafayette players. Long trying to force a pass in there, and the Cardinals get it back. Here comes Ian Shaw.
For the first time.
He is like the 5th of Shaws that have come through that Lafayette, not only basketball program, but the football program up there for the Generals.
Is a good one.
And he looks a whole lot in the face like his daddy.
Yes, he does.
Not as big. Here's Rob. Long with a 3 on the right wing. Boy, way off. And Marino got it, and Drew was doing everything he could.
That's how strong Michael's hands are.
Yeah.
You know, he was trying to hold off Drew, who is 5'7", maybe 5'8", whatever he is.
And Drew was doing everything he could to keep the 6'7" Moreno away from the rim.
And Michael catches it with one hand.
And Drew, I mean, hey, give Drew credit. He was battling. Marino from 14, good. Boy, everything Scott County staff and Billy Hicks is
and they're
calling
executing.
out. They're
right.
Yeah,
they're
really getting good looks. Here's Newcomb with the basketball, gets a screen from Surratt. Surratt loves to screen and pop, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
Here's Shaw. Boy, here's a long shot, no good. Ahead to Stewart. Shaw's back. Bothered Stewart, gets the rebound too, does Ian Shaw. And I know if Eric's listening, Eric, your youngest is a whole lot more athletic than you are. And I'm saying that because I know there's a bunch of miles between you and I. Well, actually, Coach Shaw and I are really good buddies. But you won't meet a nicer family, I do know that. Every one of his boys I've run across and said, got to know them, and they've said, yes, sir, no, sir, thank you, sir.
It's awesome.
I mean, that is a lost art with teenagers these days.
Sure is.
Of course, when you got a dad that big, yes, sir, no, sir, and yes, ma'am, and no, man, get it done, right?
I didn't have a choice.
Nope, here's Newcomb, partially blocked by Moreno. Here's Stewart again. Drew back this time to Moreno. Jump step, dunks it with 2 hands. Almost didn't get too high, didn't get high enough. 55-24, 31-point Scott County lead. I never thought this would be this bad.
Well, I thought if Lafayette didn't get it done early on that it was going to get bad.
Shaw from 17 baseline, no good. Rebounded by Moreno. Outlet to Stewart. Has to wait for the ball to come back. Enough English, gets it across
the
rim.
That?
I don't either. Enough English, he got it up over the rim. It just kept crawling and crawling and crawling.
Yep.
57-24, Cardinals, 2:45 to play. Here's another steal. Newcomb, though, hustles back, throws it right underneath the armpit of Rob. How that thing got through the armpit of Rob, I don't have a clue.
No.
There wasn't very much room there.
See, Lafayette just they have no answer. They just want to
right now
grab it and run.
Yeah, they're going one-on-one right now. Long knocks it out of bounds.
First of all, keep the ball off the sideline. Keep the ball off the sideline. Keep it in the middle of the floor, spread out, give yourself a better chance to get into the lane.
Well, there's a couple things. There's no player movement. There's no ball movement. The ball's sticking with one player. They're pounding the dribble.
Scott County plays such good defense. I mean, one-on-one defense anyway.
That's what I'm saying, but you got to move the basketball
and
player movement. You cannot just pound the dribble. You help Scott County play defense that way. Here's Newcomb, hesitates, hits Rob in the face as the ball goes free. Moreno ahead to Stewart. Stewart, body control, not this time. And he just drops his head. He thought he should have had that one, but.
Yep.
Here is Newcomb in the left corner to Shaw. Shaw, high post Haynes, 15-footer, good. Now that's his game. He can hit the 15-footer like that.
Got a soft touch.
You know who he reminds me of? He's not as big physically. Roy Moment.
From
Henry
Clay.
You remember?
Unless you're old school listening, nobody would ever remember that.
He was a freight train that played at Henry Clay. A big boy.
Jeff Blandon, Steve Miller.
Yes, sir. I remember Roy because he looked like a boxer because he had that nose just flattened on it. And he didn't talk a lot. But when he talked,
he had a body. Yes, he
did.
My
goodness. Jeff Blandon, that was a Mike Miller in the middle. Here's Rob for 3 straight away. Good.
Steve Miller was in the middle.
Steve Miller, that's right.
Went to Western.
Should have been Steve Miller in the,
Steve Miller Band.
I know. Good grief. We're about the same age, so we're talking the same era. And those that are old school will remember those names we just threw out.
That's right.
Led by the legendary Al Pruitt. Old school. Coached against your father for a long time. Gene Kirk for a long time. Think about those two coaches over at Henry Clay at that time. In the glory days of Henry Clay basketball, boys and girls. Al Pruitt on the boys' side, Bob Trippier on the girls' side. And they both were very gruff when they talked.
Yes, they were.
And everybody in the gym stopped. Here's a 3 out of the corner for Shaw. Good. Ian Shaw. Boy, I remember when this kid was born. Ian Shaw. He has got a body and a half. Here is Stewart, covered by Diallo. I like saying his first name, Alasane. And there's his brother Fu with a deflection into the hands of Shaw.
See, all they want to do is go one-on-one here.
Here's Fu, throws it up, no good. Stewart with a rebound.
Scott County's length is bothersome.
What do you think Cooper will do? Well, here's a pass over to Long, who bobbles it in the hands of Diallo. 22 seconds to play. It's all Scott County right now. Into the paint and the foul on Marino. That's the third on Michael.
With 18 seconds to go in the third quarter.
What sport's Rob going to choose?
Oh, he's already signed. He signed last year with North Carolina Charlotte. Basketball.
Basketball.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, Mark Price got fired, who recruited him. And
that's right. I think Mike Price from Georgia Tech, for those of you who don't know who that is.
And I don't know. I think everything's still on and still good because I think they love Cooper and I think he's ready to go.
Well, it is a pretty campus.
Yeah. Oh, you're in Charlotte, absolutely.
Yeah. Prettiest campus though probably in North Carolina might be, actually South Carolina might be Coastal Carolina. Rob, well, he just doesn't. And a bump. Diallo just said, maybe I can get away with it. Boom.
Yep.
Problem was, he got out there so fast he couldn't stop.
Yeah, just a little bump. Just a little. Yeah. I'm going to help you over the line here.
See if I can get away with a little nudge. But what I like, too, is as soon as he bumped Diallo, he reached his hand out and picked him up. 60-31, 29-point lead for the Cardinals. Thought this could maybe be a double-digit win for the Cardinals if they played like they played. Shots no good for Marinos. Came too late. But I thought it might be a blowout. I just didn't think it would be this bad.
No, I didn't think it was going to be 29, 30 points. I thought 10 to 15 points.
And maybe get as high as 18.
That's just as my mind because I've seen them play several times, and it's Scott County gets up, Lafayette comes back, Scott County then pulls away. That's the way it's going.
Do you think the early haymaker that Scott County hit Lafayette with just basically took the fight out of the Generals early on?
No question. And the thing about it is, I don't know if Lafayette has the personnel against Scott County to get back in this thing because you have to get some easy buckets. You got to knock down some shots, and Scott County's defense in the rotation right now is just phenomenal.
I don't think I've seen a Scott County team play this well on the defensive end since maybe the group 2003 with Matt Walls. That group was pretty good defensively.
Yes, absolutely they were.
Of course, Scott County fans might argue that group led by the guy that I dubbed the octopus at the head of that press. They were pretty formidable defensively.
Yeah, absolutely.
And talking about taking somebody's wheel in the first few minutes.
Well,
just trying to bring the ball up against A.W. Hamilton alone was a nightmare.
Forget it. Yep.
Then you had to go back there and deal with Ryan Harris, and had to deal with Scott Hunley.
Yep. Sure did.
Who was not known for his defense, but actually developed some defensive skills when he got under Billy Hicks.
He played so hard.
He did. I give Scott Hunley a hard time. Absolutely. I have to. But my favorite player of that group was A.W. Hamilton because he threatened to shave my head in Rupp Arena if they won the state title. Here's a three out of the corner from Powell. No good. Rebounded. Here's Fluker. Headed the other way like a runaway freight train. Nice defensive play, though, by Drew.
Strong hands right there by Drew. Real strong hands.
Stripped him clean. Woo. Behind the back to Powell. To King. First open look he's had all day. And he knocked it down. First unobstructed view of the rim for Cameron King. 60-34. Bounce back. Boy, I think Marino was trying to put some English on that.
Well, yeah, I don't know if he's probably got a lot of perspiration on his hand.
I think he's trying to put in some English, have that curve. Michael, come out to the golf course, see my tee shot. That'll show you how to put the curve on it. I'll either go right or left. I'll either hook it or slice it. Here's Drew. They try to get down to Haynes, and Haynes comes back and tries to knock it away from Covington. And just like, I just cannot help but see Roy Moman in him.
He does.
Same build, the same demeanor, about the same height. But Roy was a freight train. I know he could have played football if he wanted to.
Oh.
There's a one-handed tomahawk throwdown by Marino.
Great pass by Lorenzo Williams. He catches it, sees Michael, and that's what, when you're going baseline, who's open? The man coming down the lane. And you hope you have somebody on your team that has the wherewithal of diving to the bucket like Michael does.
Now here is Rob with a block shot into the hands of Cooper Robb. He's taking it all the way himself. Left hand left hand on the bottom side. Powell headed the other way. Haynes. He's going to try to dunk on Marino. And a foul on Michael's 4. I think they got him with the body more than the upper top. It looked like it was pretty good up top.
I thought it was a nice block.
Yeah, we give Haynes some credit. He was going to try to dunk.
Yeah, it was.
On the all-region player.
I like it.
You kind of like his intestinal fortitude. Now, his thought process to get to that point was probably not the best process because he took off way too early. He missed the first one. He misses the second one. Devontae is only a 50-point foul shooter. Now Lorenzo Williams gets the and one. It's a 30-point Scott County advantage.
Yeah, and how long do you go with? Always have this question.
How long do you go
with Cooper Robb and Glenn Covington and Michael Moreno?
Just Lord have mercy. These two on my left over here, we have no shot.
Do not.
We do not. But here we go. King on the behind the back dribble to Haynes in the right corner. He's going to put it on the floor. Spins into the lane. Hangs. Shot it too hard. Rebounded by Robb.
Cooper Robb's rebounding is
for a guard's phenomenal.
Wow. He's got such good timing.
And he's relentless on the glass. He's got, once he comes down, if he missed times, he can right back up as Covington drills a 3 straight away.
With the screen from Michael. Now he's going to get a timeout.
And a timeout. Billy Hicks going to call a timeout. They had the basketball in, or they got.
He's got a shoe.
A shoe problem.
Lorenzo's trying to play with a half a shoe.
He lost. I can tell now he's kind of limping when he runs. He lost the sole of his shoe.
Yeah, he's going to change.
Where's the rest of it?
No, I think it tore. It's still on there, but it tore.
Still on it, tore up on him. I've never had that problem.
I never ran out of a pair. No.
Of course, back when we played, it was the Converse stuff. It was the canvas, wasn't it?
No.
They just start coming out with leather shoes.
You might be dating yourself a little bit, Darren. Lord have mercy. We wore whatever Kentucky wore. So
actually,
I know
guess what?
Good.
We can really go a little harder on your brother.
That's right.
He's a little older than both of us.
That's right.
But he'll tell you how young he looks. Let me ask you this here: should this score hold up for the next 5:53? And by all intents and purposes, looking up there, they've doubled up Lafayette. Tomorrow night, I got a feeling we're going to have a packed house in this gymnasium for this ball game. LCA and Scott County. They played once this year in Georgetown. It was a close game throughout, with both teams with all their horses and everybody healthy on both teams. What kind of game can we expect on Monday night?
I think it's going to be a really good ball game. LCA has to find someone such as Greer. Greer has to do what he did. Now, hitting 4 3-pointers in a row against the Scott County, that's a lot to ask. But I think LCA is going to have to find they're not deep. Scott County gets into you. They're going to run them to death. LCA not very athletic, great shooters and smart players. I think it's going to be a good game.
Shaw out of the corner missed a 3. Here comes Long. Oh, wow. Nothing malicious about that. Powell reached back and Long.
Yeah, he just
did the Euro step.
It looked worse than it was.
I think it looked a lot worse because the two guys are kind of tall and lean.
Yeah. Yep.
Got a line change in for both teams now.
Yep.
Notice how you avoid the word platoon.
And you know what, Darren? I said I told you this earlier. When I saw the LCA play and I knew what LCA had coming back, I said preseason, your regional championship is Scott County and LCA.
Hey, way to go out on that limb.
I really did.
Way to go out on that limb. Was awful safely secured for you to do that, though. You know that,
yes,
right?
Yes, absolutely. LCA is a bad
You're a
matchup.
whole lot like your brother. You take the odds there. Here's Williams for three. No good. Rebounded backside by Shaw. In a rebound battle, I'll give Shaw. Look at those guns as he runs by. Gee whiz. I no way you can pump my arm up with air like that. I mean, I'm telling you. Here's Newcomb, three. Boy, Lafayette continues to hoist it up from three. And
well, they got to do something.
Yep, they are 5 of 12. I'm sorry, 5 of 16 from behind the arc. Here's Williams. He'll shoot from three. No good. Right side of the rim. Rebounded by Diallo. Now has it taken away by Harris, who's on the floor. Throws it in the hands of Surratt. Here comes Newcomb, headed the other way, behind the back dribble. Dribbles it with his knee even while he's at it. Gives back to Shaw. Like Curly Neal going down and dribbling with his knee. Three out of the corner for Newcomb. I think he was trying to get that three for himself.
Yeah, he was. Now it's just a free-for-all.
Yeah, it's just now we're going to go playground basketball, right?
Of who's going to put it up. I want to see Hamilton hit another one.
Hamilton will let one fly from the brim of the cap.
8 for 8 in the tournament.
Of the Colonel. He is 4 for 4 behind the arc.
No, that's 5 for 5 in 2
You're
games.
Right.
Yep.
5 for 5. Here's Diallo. Throws one up. No good. Hamilton with a rebound. Out on the dribble comes Hamilton. Straight down the lane. Tried to bounce past a fluker.
Kick.
But Diallo got his foot on the basketball. J.J. Tucker, number 3 in white for the Cardinals. So right now it's Williams, Tucker, Hamilton, Fluker, and Harris. It's Shaw, the Diallo twins, Surratt, and Newcomb. Here's Fluker. Shoots a fall away three and a high arcing rainmaker.
Did you feel rain on that? Look, he threw it right to him.
Yep, and he steals it and puts it in. I think Fluker got upset with himself that he missed the shot so bad.
He said, let me go in a little closer here.
I got to steal the basketball. And we are at the running clock. 36-point advantage for the Cardinals. Surratt to Shaw out of the left corner for three. Good. And I tell you what, Surratt doesn't get a lot of credit for his passing. He's a good passer.
He's a real good passer.
Here's a travel on Williams.
Take off on it.
And we're going to get some more subs. Michael McKenzie along with Jalen Barber for Scott County, number 5 and 44 respectively, as Williams and Fluker go to the bench. For the Generals, we have number 12. Figures I don't have number 12 on their bike. Do they have it on the roster here? We have number 20. That is Daniel Kinley.
I don't have a 12.
Here is number 30. Shot blocked. Ryan Stepp is 30 in white and red, I should say. Here's Kinley with the basketball. We apologize to Lafayette folks. We do not have a number 12 on the roster. They gave us, nor in the stats that I had. Nice pass from Kinley to Stepp.
Great backdoor cut.
And a one-hand bullet on the money. You like to see young guys make passes like that.
Absolutely.
And have the confidence to do that. Here's Hamilton. Right corner goes to McKenzie. Spins, can't get free. Tucker, 3 out of the right corner. Short.
.224.
73-42, a 31-point advantage. Clock continuing to run. 2:15. So the finals are set. LCA and Scott County. Here's Harris over Newcomb and lays it in with a nice left hand over the head.
Beautiful
shot to
lay-in.
shield the basketball from Newcomb.
Think about these young kids from Scott County. They got to play defense every day in practice.
Stepp has the shot blocked by Tucker. Here comes Hamilton the other direction. Hesitates. Runner, glass, good.
9 for 9.
And he's a sophomore, guys. Taryn Hamilton off the bench for 6. Correct me if I'm wrong. That should be 7, right? For him.
Should
a
be
3
what?
and 2 twos, right?
For who?
For Hamilton, right?
When?
Just now, and hit a 3 while ago. A
He
pair,
hit
a pair of twos. He hit the one on the elbow and the one right there, and then a 3, right? That's 7.
Correct.
Thank you. I knew I paid attention to math class for something, doggone it. But they only got him for 6 on the board.
No, hang on.
Now they got him 8.
In the first half, he got an and 1.
That's
when
right.
he first came in.
You're right. So now we get the rest of the lineup, the Scott County Cardinals. We have 32, Jamison Harrison. along with 23, that is Neil Baker, and 15, Aaron Leake. For the Generals, we have another player in the lineup. That's number 14, that is Caleb True. And True lets one fly, and he hits the backboard, behind the backboard, and it actually gets stuck. And I don't think I've ever seen that.
Here, let me go jump up there and get that, Darren.
We need to get Mike out of the stands to get that.
I'll
one.
be right
His
back.
leaping ability is legendary.
Yes.
I'm kidding. Of course, for those that don't know, Mike and Derek Varney and I go way back. I didn't play against Derek, but I played against Mike and had some legendary conversations on the court.
I guarantee it. If you played against Mike, you had a legendary conversation.
Well, I will tell you this. Those that people will not believe this, but I didn't get a word in edgewise. not once. But back in those days, Woodford-Scott County enjoyed a great basketball rivalry, home and away.
Sure did.
And both teams had to close down many times the gyms when the other one came calling.
Mid-state conference.
Oh, boy, you really going way back. That's that is Barber that had the basketball. Now this is Baker. We're really going down in our scouting report now. Here's McKenzie from 17, good, straight away.
Good play too, man.
32 seconds to play.
The future for Scott County is, as you can see, the beat goes on.
They go down low to Surratt, who's playing with all these young guys. He'll put it up. And these will be some of the guys surrounding Surratt for the next couple of years. Surratt misses the shot, the foul coming up on Barber. Barber goes, what, 6'4", 6'5"?
A little bit taller than that.
Yeah,
he's taller. I
6'6".
think he's taller than Moreno. Yeah, 6'6", 6'7".
Shot's no good for Surratt. So Surratt's going to see some size against him for the next several years as well. Let me ask you this. In a couple of years, there will be the Great Crossings High School.
Yep.
And they're going to put them, I think they're putting both those teams, well, one's going to go in the 42nd, one's going to stay in the 42nd, correct? 41st and 42nd, correct? So what the plan is?
I thought they were both going to the same
I've
one.
heard both ways. But we're talking about 2017, 2018, an impressive showing by the Cardinals this afternoon here in Richmond. Now the boys' finals are set for Monday night. Tip-off will be 7:30. We'll be on the air probably, 7 o'clock? 7:15 for the pregame on Monday night? Yeah, which, 7 or 7:15? We'll be on the air for 7. Half an hour pregame. We got a whole host of things. And they played up right here in the 11th region. It'll be just as big of a championship game, not with the competition on the floor, but also in the pregame ceremonies as the state tournament would be.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll be a great atmosphere.
Well, we build it as a mini state tournament here, and it has been. We've had a couple of really nice games.
11-3.
Gary Ball over with Coach Billy Hicks.
Thank you very much, Darren Douglas. We're here with Billy Hicks, victorious coach, and you're heading on to the regional championship.
Well, it's really honored, Gary. Really honored to be there, and shoot, we got a tough one ahead of us. And I thought LCA showed a lot of great courage coming back to the second half. Lafayette and us, we know each other. We play a lot in the summer, and we play a lot. And I think last 7 or 8 times we played them, it's been single digits. And then it's just one time we come out and made a bunch of shots, got going. But Mike and all of them did a great job, and we're very, very happy to have won this game.
Michael Marino seems like he's on a mission, Coach.
He really, he's healthy, and that's what you can ask for. If all our guys are healthy, and let's just hope we stay that way till Monday. But Michael's a heck of an athlete. He's big and strong and quick. That's a good combination.
What do you think was the difference here today? I mean, you beat Lafayette pretty handily by 36 points.
Well, we're a really good passing team. These kids have played a lot of ball together, and they know how to read each other. And defensively, they do a really good job of playing team defense. And I think recently Glenn Covington has done a heck of a job up on the ball, and that's where defense starts at. I think Glenn has really picked it up there and gotten better and has made us better.
Coach, you've got a day now to get ready for Lexington Christian Monday night in the 11th Region Final.
Yeah, and it's they've had a great year. They won the All-A, and I think going into tonight's game, they're 6-0 on this floor. So they're really had a great year, and shoot, it's going to be a tough one. We know them well. We played them early in the season, and it was really a tough ball game. I think about an 8-point game.
Well, Coach, here's your Mingua beef jerky. You get that again?
I got old Connors waiting on that right now. Thank you, Gary. Thank you very much.
That's Billy Hicks of Scott County, and he got the Mingua beef jerky.
Well, his assistant coach, Chris Wilhite's going to be really upset with Billy for giving that garlic flavored beef jerky to his son later on. Gee whiz. We gave you the girls score out of that 7th region, an upset in the championship game today. Sacred Heart falling to DuPont Manual. No surprise though. Manual is a great girls basketball program down there out of the 7th region. Got a minor one here. No surprise though, coming out of the 13th region for the semifinals. Corbin knocked off Knox Central today, 75-60. Of course, Corbin, for all intents and purposes, had the home court advantage playing in the Corbin Arena.
Right, absolutely.
You ever been in that arena?
I have.
Very nice one.
Very nice.
Very nice. So that's the only other score we have besides the LCA Madison Central game, 58-52, in the Scott County convincingly 79-43 over the Generals of Lafayette. Derek, Monday night?
Monday night.
Should be a good one.
It should be. Absolutely. Can't wait.
Gary Ball will be on the call with that. I assume Mr. Varney will be joining you for that game on color?
The boys' game?
Yes, sir.
Not sure.
You're not sure yet. It's whoever greases your palm the best. I'm kidding, Gary Ball. Gee whiz. I know you said something over here about me when I had the microphone earlier.
Huh?
I know you were ragging on me. My ears were burning. We've got the girls' game, though, coming up, the championship game tonight. On paper, it could be a good one. We don't know. We'll see. Scott County, Franklin County. We'll be on there at 7 o'clock for that one, too, or 7:30 tonight? 7:15. What time are you going? We're going on 7:15 for that one tonight. That'll get underway, and then we'll have the tip-off of that game. Gary Ball and Scott True or Julie Munn's on the call. Scott True on the call for that one tonight. So, and I'll be somewhere floating in the building. Somewhere. So, for Derek Varney on color, Gary Ball, William Moorfield. Final score again, Scott County 79, Lafayette 43. So long from Richmond.